Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. This is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. I want to share a few moments with you about learning how to identify, first of all, a root cause. What is the root cause? What allows me or doesn't allow me to do the things that I do? Going back and finding the root. We can always see the surface of a problem. We can see the situation that is before us. But do you see why? Why do you react the way that you react? Why do you do the things that you do? Why does some things seem to, jab at you harder than other things? And then finding that root cause. Um, I was talking to someone the other day about a fear. They was talking about, I really don't like something, right? And I says, I said, do you think maybe, you've been traumatized by something that's causing you to feel that way? I think they were talking about using a knife. They don't use knives much, and it bothers them with the knife. I says, really? They said, yeah, I don't know what it is. I said, something must have happened in your life that has, that traumatized you. Maybe you have suppressed it, and that's why you don't deal with knives, because something normally, causes a root. And a lot of times we just, like I said, we brush off the surface and never deal with the root. And they said, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'd never thought about this before. But you're right. I remember a time when someone was doing something with a knife. They were throwing a knife when we were children. They threw knives at us. And it scared me. I said, there you go. Now that you know, now you can do something about it. Because a lot of times we can't work on something that we don't know what it is. And we skip around it, try to avoid it, you know, even, back away from it. When people begin to bring up something that may cause us to feel uncomfortable or feel like we don't want to discuss it for whatever the reason may be, but sometimes it's getting down to the root. People ask me, about going to therapy, right? I said, every therapist has got to have a therapist because you're receiving information all the time. You're helping people every single day. You are pulling in all these energies all the time of people's lives. People have entrusted you with secrets. They have entrusted you with fears and hurts and pains in their life. And they have entrusted information to you. You become almost like a reservoir that you're holding all this information. And every once in a while, the reservoir has got to release that information, right? And you don't tell the therapist. What you do is you send it to where it's supposed to be. But every once in a while, because you're receiving all these energies, and we do, because we are energy based, and everybody knows that, right? We all know that we are energy. And so, you go into a room, you say, I felt, things were off. That's your energy, right? It's still the energy in the room. They say, the vibe was off, right? You said the vibes back in the day, right? They say all kinds of things. But basically, what we're saying is you are, a human energy reservoir, right? And you send out and you receive energies all the time. I tell people, I'm a transmitter, right? I'm transmitting, I'm receiving and I'm giving, I'm receiving and I'm giving. This is throughout the course of a day, even when you sleep, because most people know when you're asleep, it's just the time in which your body must rest, even though you're not resting, right? Because you are still on a mission, because you are not the body, right? You know that you are not the body. The body contains itself. You are what moves your body. Your body gets up with you. You can go anywhere. Your body must go exactly where, it's physically meant to go. Of course, you know that, right? So, because you realize you are energy, a soul, spirit, you know that there's nothing is impossible for you to do. It's some things impossible for your body to do, right? You want to go visit a place in China, you can go. Your body might can't, but you can go, right? And we'll talk about that at another time when you're ready, right? But all I'm trying to get you to understand is when you go into a place, you feel things that are off. It's you, your spirit man, your spirit woman, It's you that knows that something in this place is off. My daughter and I was out riding, looking for some land, and I'm riding, trying to, look at, different pieces of property, right? And we went to one town, and I felt the coldness and the darkness there. I said, "Ooh," I said, "Can you feel that?" She said, "What, Mama?" I said, Can you tell me what you feel as we're riding down here? Just tell me what you feel, because I don't want to encourage or to, kind of lead away. I want to know if you in tune, right? Can you feel this? She says, um, "It don't feel right, Mama." I said, "No, it don't." I said, "So there's a lot of dark things in this town, and I've never been to the town before." I said, "But it is not for me because the energy is off. It is a place that not only bad things has happened there, but still happens here. And I don't want to be somewhere where I'm uncomfortable from the gate, right?" So we were going from town to town looking at property and thinking, okay, I want to feel the place. When I put my feet on the ground, I want to know this is where I'm supposed to be. And I want to know that this is where, I have been before at some point in my life, that I can rest here, right? And resting does not mean I'm not talking about a plot to lay my body down. I'm talking about to live at a harmony that it's going to be all right, right? Because we all know the climate has changed. And when the climate changes, we must understand how we must change also, because there has to be a change when the climate changes. And I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about the things that's happening now around the world. It's telling you there's going to be a big change about to happen. Are you ready for it? So I'm a person that like to be prepared. You know, um, I don't know if that's a female thing or it's just a thing, but I like to be ready. I like to be prepared. And I listen to a lot of my sons. A lot of times they get ready to do something, they the spur of the moment. Right? I'm going to such a place. I said, "Okay, you ever got your reservation?" "No, I'm gonna wait till I get there." I said, "Oh Lord, have mercy." Ooh, ooh, okay, but it wouldn't be me. I normally have my reservation months in advance, right? I have my, and that's how I do things. Some say because you're organized. I don't even think I'm that organized. I like to be prepared to the best that I can. Now, I can't change, who I'm going to meet when I get there, the reception I wish we receive, thus and thus, but I still make those plans in advance because I want to know that when I get there, that I'm in a place that I can feel at ease and comfortable in, right? Because I don't like to go to any place. I don't care if it's, family or friend's house. If I don't feel comfortable in that environment, I'm not going to stay, because protecting my energy is very important to me and it should be important to you, right? Protecting your energy. When I'm around anybody in any sector and my energy feels affected by the ones that are around me, for whatever the reason may be, right? Then I must remove myself because protecting me is important. And I'm not saying protecting my physical body, but protecting my spiritual, right? Because you can be in a place and in an environment for a period of time, and before you know it, you start acting like the environment you just came out of. You ever had somebody coming to your home and they're upset about something that happened in their home or something that's happened in their life? They had a big argument, something's going on, right? They leave your home and all of a sudden your whole demeanor changes because you have accepted that spirit, and now it resides in your home. And now if if you're in a relationship, then all of a sudden y'all arguing about something that's just silly, right? But you allowed that to come into your home. And I'm gonna tell you what you do. I'm not telling you you can't allow people to come into your house. Now I'm not telling you that. I'm trying to tell you how to protect yourself from everybody who comes into your home. Protecting your energy, keeping your home free, from anything that would damage where you're trying to be and what you're trying to do, right? People come in, um, Years ago, when people come into your house, they used to get their broom, that little cinnamon broom they would have in the house, right? They would and sweep that stuff out. It, what they were doing, they were sweeping everything you brought in. They swept it right back out the house, right? You know, people say, "Oh, that's superstitious. Oh, that's good." People they call stuff witchcraft, all kinds of stuff, right? People don't understand because people put a name to something that they don't understand. Then you adapt to what they just said. Now you thinking what they're talking about, and they don't even know what they were talking about in the first place. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Some things, you just you got to go somewhere else with people. You know, don't waste energy now on trying to explain who you are to people, but you protect your home, right? People leave your home, and their energy was off. They upset. They angry, and you can feel it now. When they leave your home, now you need to make sure that you sweep that stuff out. Not with a natural broom, honey. You start praying. You start removing stuff out your house immediately. Send it back out. Because if you don't, if it harbors in your home, then it's going to begin to affect your mind, your heart, your spirit, and the way you was moving before they got there. You know, and there used to be a time when whenever I would go into a big store, I would put my headphones on, right? So I could be able to hear only what I want to hear. And I have my music playing. I'm listening with my headphones on, right? So I can just disregard all the other information that's going on inside that store, that building, whatever. That was my way of protecting my mind from hearing stuff that I didn't want to hear. Dealing with people in sometimes their negative state, right? And because people can be in some bad places and they just start talking, foolishly. And I just didn't want to contain all that stuff. And then when I get out, it's like I got to brush off all this stuff, right? So my way of protecting myself was put my headphones on so I didn't have to hear it. And then I said what I wanted to hear when I walked into it because I had my headphones on. I listened to what I wanted to listen to and not what was given around me. But then I had to get to a place and become a big girl and realize I can't put these headphones on all the time, right? So I had to learn how to protect my mind when I'm in an environment that I know is not healthy for me and it's not where I want to be. But I got to be in this environment. I got to walk into the store. I got to go into this conference meeting. I got to go into this, this classroom. I got to, wherever I'm at, I got to be there. But how to protect my mind while I'm there because I can't put the headphones on now. So what do I need to do? And I learned how to still protect my mind, my ear gates, right? To hear only what I need and want to hear and block out anything that I don't want to go into my ear gates, the sounds, right? Protecting your energies. You can learn to do that when we learn how to tune in. I always talk about this, right? To tune into who you are, right? A lot of times people say, you got to do things this way, do things, and I'm not telling you how you can do it. I'm just giving you ideals, and I try to guide. I try to be a semi-library. That's all. A library is someone who is just, or something that has information. And you can choose to browse the information, or you can choose, I don't like libraries. I don't like to read, and it's fine because now they make it audible. All of these networks and medias today is audible. People are able to talk to you now instead of you trying to read because we do know that a lot of people have a problem reading. In our ministry, I used to have a sign that we would have to read. I think it was a book a month. You read a book. Some read two. But what I was trying to get them to get used to is being able to pull in knowledge. Read, grab a book. So, educate yourself on things that you don't know because, it's going to help you along the way. And there were some people who didn't like to read. And, it's understandable. And so that's why they made things audible. I had a young lady, when I would send out my nuggets every day, I had a young lady would say to me, she says, I want you to speak the nuggets instead of writing them. She said, because I love the sound of your voice. She said, I want to hear you talking. So, I do better the Audible. I said, no problem. And so I would do that for her, but what it is that, and I don't think it's anything about my voice, honey. you know, Sometimes I'll be trying to make sure I can slow down, so people can understand me. And but if that's what helps her, there we are. But coming to a place that you understand everything that's going on in your life, you must go into your roots. Your roots. Your roots is the place where everything started, where everything began. And then it'll tell you why you are the way that you are once you discover your roots. And you don't have to do a genealogical, you know, going back and writing something and paying somebody some money to find out who you are. I mean, if that's what you need to do that. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, on a spiritual level, you can't find that in a book, and you can't find that on some website. The only way you're going to find that is you got to go inside yourself, right? You go inside yourself, or somebody who can help you get inside yourself so you can find out who you are. There are people out here that can help you, you know? But it's how far you want to go to know about your roots, to know what makes you do the things that you do. What makes you happy, what makes you sad, why? I met a man, oh gosh, 80 something, maybe 80. And he told me, he says, I don't believe in God. I said, no problem. I said, no one asked you to. you know, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. You don't have to believe in God. You believe in whatever you want to believe in. That's you, right? It doesn't change who I am. It's just who you are. You have your reasons. And so he said, well, I just don't believe God is real. I said, I understand. I said, can I ask you a question though? And he said, sure. I said, I know you don't believe in God, and I know you don't believe God is real. I said, and it's fine. But what if I told you something about you that you never told anybody? What would you think about me? He said, what do you mean? I said, yeah, I mean, just something off the wall. Suppose I could tell you something about your life. I can tell you about you. And I don't know you, right? He says, right? I said, I can tell you about you. What would you think? Who you think would probably give me that information? I mean, how you think I would have got there? And he looked at me. He said, can you do that? I said, do you want to know something about you that you haven't told anybody? He says, okay. So I looked at him. I said, can I hold your hand for a second? And he said, sure. I said, I held his hand. And then I began to tell him a few things, right? And he looked at me and then tears dropped in his eyes. He says, how'd you know that? I said, I didn't. I don't know you. I wonder who gave me that information. Right? Now, there's nothing special about me. Nothing special about me. Because anybody is capable of meeting a stranger and knowing about that stranger only because you are tapped in. That's how it's just tapped in. You always hear me say, tap in. Just tap into yourself, right? No, ain't nothing special about me, huh? Mm-mm. Anybody can do that when you tap in, you know? And most people are afraid to tap in. I got a friend of mine, he would tell me something sometime and I would fall out laughing. I said, you was right. It did happen. It did happen, just like you said, right? And he said, I tell people a lot of times, he talked kind of slow, right? He said, I'm from Bama, but I ain't crazy. And I laugh all the time, right? But he be on point. But he's tapped in. Sometimes I wonder if he knows how deep he's really tapped in, right? People tapped in all over the world. Somebody you talking to right now know things about you and you ain't told them, but they still know, right? They ain't got to tell you because you should know because it's about you. You sit and meet people, and sometimes you're talking to somebody, and they say, "It seems like I know you all my life." You're right, because you have. How? Because you're tapped in. Of course, you know me all your life. I've been a part of your life. One day you'll figure that one out too, right? But anyway, when you find out there's something that you do, something that you say, a place that you're at, that you can't figure it out, then all you got to do is learn, about your roots. Get inside yourself. Don't be afraid to find out who you are. And, don't be afraid. Don't allow people on your outside to tell you who you supposed to be and what you're supposed to do with your life. Your life, it's yours. Be an original. Don't ever try to be a duplicate of somebody else. Who wants to be somebody else? I don't. Be you. You are powerful at who you are. You do great things. I think you're special. Just because you are unique and you are yourself. And that's a good thing. Just be you, you know? And then when things begin to center into your life, and they will, honey, you'll meet people and you'll see things. Once you get comfortable with who you are, you'll see people and you'll see them in a different light. You won't be so judgmental of people because then you understand them. Because you don't want nobody, prejudge you, right? Because of the way that you do things, the way you look, how you talk. A lady told me one day, she says, I don't talk that well, I mispronounce words. I said, girl, I tear words up, honey. Anybody know me now, I'll tear a word up. But it's who I am. It's just who I am. But because I tear a word up now, don't think I don't know nothing. Don't think I'm uneducated now, because I know things. I know things. I'm just gonna be me. I'm not trying to talk any way different than who I am. And I love me. And I couldn't always say I love me, but I love me now. I love every part of me. You know, the sassy me, because good grace, she is so sassy. But I love her. You know, you know, I'm just me. I love it. So find you, fall in love with you. I'm seriously, fall in love with you. I got some people I got to meet, and I got to meet them on another level. And I want to tell them, your problem is you don't love you. I want you to love you. I want you to be so in love with you that nobody can resist you. They can't resist you because you're so lovable, right? You're just lovable. I can't tell you how many people are in love with me. They just love me. They love me for different reasons, but they love me. And I accept whatever the reason may be. But you know why they love me? Because I first had to love myself. And then I can receive and accept the love that anybody else got to give me. But I first had to love myself. And then I love others. But I got to love me. I got to. And now I can love people. Love them where they are, not where I want them to be, where they are. Simple as that. And I can love you and not deal with you. I still love you. I just don't fool with you. Keeps my peace. It'll keep yours too. Getting down to the roots of a thing, honey. Finding out why you do the things that you do. Why? You allow, certain things and certain people to affect you the way they affect you, right? And then when you learn that, you become better because then you know how to what? Counteract anything that comes your way. I hope you're going to have a fabulous day if you have not already started one. Be awesome, be great, be fabulous. Something big is about to happen, and I want to be a part of it. How about you? Let your life forever shine. Be wonderful. I love you. Blessings to you.